This condition has taught me something about self-belief, which I don't know I would have had without it.
Hi, Padmaja. Welcome to the Via Diabetes interview series.
Thank you, Olivia. Thanks for having me. And it's really a pleasure to get a chance to speak.
I would like to know if you could tell our viewers your diagnosis story and, with your incredibly busy life, how you manage your type 1 diabetes on top of everything.
I have now lived with type 1 diabetes for over 40 years. I was diagnosed at the age of 5. It was pretty straightforward. My mother saw my symptoms. My father saw my symptoms of the usual, the excessive thirst, the excessive appetite, the excessive weight loss. And what I hear is a lot of people try and they end up being in denial of that. My parents weren't. They sort of saw it and wanted to get me checked out, and they did. And my sugars came back skyrocket. But luckily, it was before anything more dramatic happened. The first 25 years of my condition, I took multiple injections. And I say this because I want to share with my newly diagnosed friends that I've gone through the whole spectrum of the condition, right? Which included multiple insulins, which included the long-lasting, which included the mixed start. We've grown and graduated from there. But I've evolved from there, and I'm standing here today in front of you to say that this condition is manageable.
I guess you were quite, well, not lucky because you still got type 1 diabetes, but you were lucky with your diagnosis story in the sense that your parents saw the issues, and that's not always, I guess, the case, right?
You're right. Maybe the word is lucky. But today I don't want it to be based just on luck, right? Today there's a lot more awareness. Today, someone who's diagnosed early, it shouldn't be a matter of luck. Maybe I was. Maybe my parents had the strength and the wisdom and the instinct to get it checked. But today, let's not make it a matter of luck. Let's just make it a part of being a matter of fact and deal with it accordingly.
I wanted to know, since you didn't really know anyone who had diabetes in your family, whether you've faced any kind of stigmas or misconceptions over your lifetime.
Several, Olivia, several. I think I still face them. What has changed is my own mindset. When I faced them as a child or as a younger person, my way of coping with it was maybe not sharing as much. Not because I had a problem with the condition, it's just I had a problem with the person who was putting the stigma out there, their mindset. Stigma, yes, from people outside. I've had some inside people also who've questioned my capabilities. And that used to be a big trigger for me. And now when I look back at it and think about the fact that they would go telling people, oh, she has type 1 diabetes, as if I can't do something that I wish to do, that time it triggered me. Today I feel sorry for them because it almost feels like a reflection of their shortcomings, not mine. Because I can look you in the eye, Olivia, today and say to you that I'm very satisfied with my life. This condition has taught me something about self-belief, which I don't know I would have had without it. So all those people out there who are second-guessing our capabilities, guess again, because the fact of the matter is that we are capable. We are leading our lives. And if there is a difference, Olivia, it's the fact that we know how to deal in ways that is so organic. You know, I can be talking to you and calculating my blood glucose levels at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, I know what I have to do without having to feel fumbled by it. Now that's a gift, and it's a gift that this condition has given me, and I remain grateful for it.
Can you comment on any of the recent changes that have come in, including the extension of screening? I think it was in the Bengaluru area.
I've been working on the ground with Rajasthan, which is the state I come from. We've been very fortunate that we have a phenomenal health minister who has understood how important it is to be able to bring insulin to all the government district hospitals. They have worked closely with the Clinton Foundation to be able to provide this and educate, because both these things are important. So to your question, are things happening in India? Yes, I know, because I've been to these clinics. I'm seeing the work that's happening, and I'm just really happy that I have seen this happening in Rajasthan. I know from the people I'm speaking to and the doctors I'm talking to that this has happened really well in West Bengal as well. And to your point, Bangalore, which is the south of India. So now in this 2-minute conversation, we've covered 3 states where we know work is happening. We have phenomenal champions of type 1 diabetes that are going out and doing work. One, you and I both know, Mridula has been such a force with regard to type 1 diabetes. There are a few others that I know who are very similar with the work that they're doing in the area, the region, and really for the whole entire country. Breakthrough T1D has also invested in India. They're supporting champions to be able to have an effect on the community. So there are a lot of little parts that are all coming together, which are imperative. You can't just work with one part of the society. You can't just work with doctors or just the government or what have you. All of these are intrinsic part of our society, right? I host a summit every year for type 1 diabetes where we bring all these different parts together, right? Policymakers, government, champions, doctors. So yes, I think there is good work happening in India that's measurable, that one can see the impact of. Is it enough? No. I think we still have some ways to go, but it's motivating for me and others to continue to tread this path.
What do you think is the most immediate or maybe the biggest issue in India when it comes to diabetes?
I think the access to insulin really needs to go up, which I feel that one is seeing. Like I said to you, I've been to a very remote area in Rajasthan. I went to a clinic where there is that, right? So it is very confidence building to know that if one can get insulin to that area, there shouldn't be any area out there that shouldn't get it. I was lucky that I had access to insulin and blood strips. I don't want that today to be based just on luck. I think every child, every type 1 who's dependent on insulin should have access to it. We compute a lot of stuff in our mind already. This is something that doesn't require computation. So the immediate thing I would just, if I had a magic wand, insulin everywhere without having to think about it. That's my wish.
What do you think that as a community, we diabetics need to do more of to get more funding?
I would just like all of us to come together to be able to have the same narrative. Currently, our narratives are quite different, as they should, right? Because your story, my story, Mridula's story, someone else's story is all different. But if we are talking on a global stage, today we know that to have a structured narrative is imperative so people can understand. It's about bringing this narrative out in a way that's truly impactful, that truly lands. If people do have misinformation, they can stand corrected.
Imagine you're talking to either your younger self, so your 5-year-old self, or someone who's literally just been diagnosed. What's the first thing or what's the biggest thing you'd like to give them as a piece of advice?
That you've got this. You've got this. You've really got this. And I was very fortunate that my mother was able to say that to me in 1985. She was absolutely right. Make the choices that help you feel and be better.
Well, thank you so much, Padmaja, for speaking with me today. It's been an absolute pleasure to get to know you, your story. And I think the messages that you've said throughout the interview will definitely be inspiring for a lot of people out there. So,
no, thank you. Thank you very much.